that basically every week for the next couple of weeks, you're going to have a quiz or a test. So you did 2-1 online on Friday. We're going to have 2-2 today, a worksheet Tuesday, a worksheet Wednesday, a worksheet that's summarizing all of this, and a quiz on Friday. Okay? So just so you know, then next week we're going to cover 2-4, 2-4 online, 2-5, 2-5 online, and I don't think that's right. I think it's 2-4, 2-5, the two of them together, a review and a test. I think that's how it works. I think your test is next Friday over this chapter. And then the following week, we have a 4-day school week, and we will cover 2-5, 2-6, 2-7, 2-8, and do a short little summary over those. Okay? So just so you know, expect a 30 to 40 point quiz this Friday, and then you'll have a 100-point test next Friday. And it's just going to kind of flip-flop back and forth like that. All right. Friday, we translated, and we talked about what those different words mean. We translated verbal expressions or verbal sentences into equations. So today, we're going to go back into solving one-step equations. And I know you've done this, and I know you can probably do it in your head. But one of the biggest things with solving equations is that you are showing your work. Because I'm going to tell you, we're going to get to a point that you have to have work shown for both sides, or you're never going to get these right. And we're going to step it up even further and have multiple letters in them. So my biggest thing in this is you have to show your work. I know it's annoying to you guys. Okay? To solve an equation means to find the value of the variable that makes the equation true. You are trying to find the value of C, the value of G, the value of X, that if you substituted it in, it would make a true statement. Okay? Every single problem today, you should write down on your scratch paper and draw a line through the equal sign. You guys have done this before, correct? Keep your equal sign on the line. I need to get C by itself, so I should add 22, and you're like, Miss Hoff, we already did a worksheet on this. I know. Okay. 22 and negative 22 cancel. Leaves me C equals 76. Go to the right. 113 equals G minus 25. Draw the line down the equal sign. To get G by itself, I should add 25. 25 and negative 25 cancel. G's on the right. 113 plus 25, 138. I think we can skip that last one. What are your thoughts? Okay, let's go to the next one. Let's go straight down one right in the middle. 27 plus K equals 30. Draw your line down your equal sign. How do I get K by itself? Subtract 27 from both sides. Very good. K equals 3. Go to the right. Negative 12 equals P plus 16. Draw a line through your equal sign. How do I get P by itself? Subtract 6. Whoopsies. Subtract 16. P is on the right. P is equal to? Nicely done. Nicely done. You're like, Ms. Hoff, we did 1-5 worksheet on this already, right? And you did. Those first two we absolutely 100% did. But we also might have one-step equations today that aren't just addition and subtraction. Okay? Let's start in the middle. 39 equals negative 3R. Draw a line through the equal sign. What is my one step in this one? Alyssa? Divide it by negative 3. Don't lose your negative. Don't lose your negative. So you get R equals negative 13. Go to the right. 3/5 K equals 6. I draw a line through the equal sign. What do I do on this one? Very good. What is that called? You're multiplying by the? Nicely done. Reciprocal. Technically, this is multiplication. To undo multiplication, we divide. Well, when you divide by a fraction, it's really multiplying by the reciprocal. So nicely done. We're going to multiply by 5/3. multiply by 5/3. 5's cancel, 3's cancel. We're left with k equals multiply across or cross simplify. Which two numbers can you reduce? 6 would become a, 3 would become a. Now multiply across. 2 times 5 is 1 times 1 is 1. One more simplification. 10 divided by 1 is 10. And the reason I say this is not always is it going to be a 1 down here. Follow me? Miss Hoff will not accept decimal answers. I will not accept decimal answers unless a decimal is given to you at the very start. If it's fractions or whole numbers, I expect a fraction or whole number answer. And just because it's a whole number doesn't mean your answer is a whole number. It could be a fraction, but it's just not going to be a decimal. Okay, let's flip to the back side. Top left. -1/4 equals 2/3 b. I draw a line through the equal sign, and I should. Very good. Question, Mason, I'm going to stick with you. Why did you find the reciprocal of 2/3 and not -1/4?
Because the letters on the
Very good. You always find the reciprocal of the one with the variable. Nicely done. The coefficient of the variable. So he is spot on. Times 3/2 times 3/2. On the right-hand side, I'm left with just b. Left-hand side, can you cancel anything? Cross simplify? No. So if we multiply across, you end up with, careful, -3/8. Now, technically, your negative sign could be out front or in the numerator. Yes, technically, it could be in the denominator. Don't put it there. But you only need one negative sign, right? If you have two negative signs, what's that mean? It's actually positive, which is not simplified. So you only have one negative. How about in the middle? -1 3/8 k equals 2/3. What's the first thing I should do here? Very good. Make it an improper fraction. I was going for you, Meg, but then I didn't know if that was like a confident, like I don't really know. Okay? Ignore the negative. This throws so many people off. How do I change change a mixed number to improper? Multiply, then add. 1 times 8. 8 plus 3. 11. So -1 3/8 is actually -11/8 k equals 2/3. Yes, your number is negative, but when you're multiplying and adding, ignore the negative. Now what should I do? Whoops. Multiply by, careful, careful, -8/11. Your reciprocal has to keep the sign because we want it to be positive. -8/11. And Mason explained, you always take the reciprocal of the one with the variable. Positive 8s and 11, you're left with 1k. On the right, can you simplify?
Yeah.
No.
I don't think so, right?
Whoops.
You're good?
Yeah.
Okay, multiply across. 2 times -8, -16. 3 times 11, 33. Check. Can you reduce? No. Here's an example. I don't want a decimal. Never should that even be put into your calculator. Because decimals don't do a lot for us. Fractions are what's key. Okay? Let's go down to your two problems with words. I don't like to call them story problems because everybody's like, I can't do story problems. I can't do word problems. Yes, you can. Problems with words. You're fine. Of a group of 13 to 15-year-old girls surveyed, 225, or about 9/20, said they talked on the phone while they watched television. About how many girls were surveyed? With this, we need to write an equation, and this is what we talked about on Friday, an embedded equation. Not where x equals something, but based on the information, write an equation, then we'll solve it. Okay? So the unknown, or our variable, is our question about how many girls are surveyed. So we're going to say x equals number of girls surveyed. Not how do I solve this and find the answer, but based on the information they gave us, how could I write an equation to represent the situation? of a group of 13 to 15-year-old girls surveyed, or about 225, or about 9/20 said they talked on the phone while they watched television. Thatcher.
225 equals X times 9/20.
Just because I'm picky, I'm going to put my number out front. Is that okay? Yeah. Thoughts? 225 equals, which in math means is the same as 9/20 times how many girls were surveyed. That is 110% correct. Nicely done. 225 or about 9/20. They're talking about the same group, just in two different ways. How would you solve this?
Multiply by 21.
Perfect. We're not going to solve it. You can solve it. I just want to talk about setting it up. Allison's making a stained glass window. Her pattern requires that 1/5 of the glass should be blue. She has 288 square inches of blue glass. If she intends to use all of the blue glass, how much glass will she need for the entire project? So our question is going to tell us what our variable is. How much glass will she need for the entire project? So X equals total amount of glass. On your own, take a minute to write an equation to represent this. Don't solve it. Don't solve it. Allison's pattern requires that 1/5 of the glass should be blue. She has 288 square inches of blue glass. The phrase 1/5 of the glass should be blue writes your equation, agreed? 1/5 is a fraction. Of in math means multiplying the glass, in this case, is your X, should be blue equals the blue amount, or in our case, how much blue does she have? 288. Okay. No, that's a great question. If you wrote 288 equals 1/5 X, same or different? They're the same. What property is that? Symmetric. Yep, symmetric. They can swap sides. They mean the same exact thing. Okay, so the question is always, do we have to show work? And what's my response? Yes. Are you going to turn it into me? No. Are you going to have to show work to make sure you got it right? 100%. I don't care if you use your notebook. I don't care if you use the squares back there or your own scratch paper. 2-2 online is open, and due at 8 a.m. tomorrow. Alex,